So, a lot of things that I hear from my career coaching clients are that they are getting interviews, but they're not getting more than one interview or they're not getting offers. I'm Leora. I'm a queer neurodivergent career coach. I've worked for several years in HR and recruiting, and I've been a hiring manager myself. So, let's get into some of my key tips for making really impactful interviews. And I actually just had a client go through this process with me and then go on an interview, and she killed it. So, let's get into the tips. So first thing I would do is I would take the job description and I would break it down line by line. And then for each one of those like bullet point requirements that they have, I want you to think about experience that you have or skills that you have that relate to that. And ideally, I want you to try to think of a specific example or a sample of a time that you've done that. I know a lot of times that there are specific job skills that can be really general, like we do them every day. They're so ingrained in our daily work that it feels like there's not even a specific example to give because it happens so much. But I still want you to try to think of a sample. And so when you're thinking of these scenarios that relate to each one of these job description bullet points, I want you to think of the word STAR. This stands for situation, task, action, and result. And so the situation is literally like, what was the situation? What was the problem? The task or action, these can be kind of similar, but what were you tasked with doing? What did you have to do to address the situation? And then what were those actions you took? So what were sort of those step-by-step things that you did or the people that you've worked with in order to address the situation? And then the result is exactly that. What happened after you did all of that stuff? It doesn't have to always be a positive thing. Maybe you didn't get the result that you wanted or it was a little bit different than you anticipated. So you can think about what did you learn from that or what would you do differently? So when you're making these notes for yourself, again, you're breaking down the job description line by line. You don't necessarily have to use full sentences. This is really just to jog your memory so that you can use these examples in the interview. Putting in those keywords, key concepts that kind of help you remember those STAR examples. And that's going to make you feel so much more confident going into the interview because you're going to know exactly how and why you're qualified for the job. And you'll be more prepared to speak to those examples in the interview because you've already started thinking about them and writing them down yourself. And you can even have this document up as you're referencing it if you're doing a virtual interview. If you like tips like this, I have an entire mini course that costs about the same as a latte. Or if you want to dive even deeper, I have what I call the Job Seeker Toolkit. And this is an over 30-page guide. It's really simple to follow step by step throughout your job search journey, taking you from finding job boards to preparing your application, interviewing, offer negotiation, and beyond. And you can get that for $44 at the link in my bio. Let me know what other questions you have about your job search and career development journey.